So picture this. You're in the car, you just turned on the radio, and you hear this song by Lola Young. It's called Messy. You've never heard of it before. You're kind of listening and you're like, how come this feels really different than everything else on the radio right now? It feels kind of cool, kind of like nostalgic. It almost feels like something you've heard before. Well, that's because the intro kind of sounds like Every Breath You Take by The Police. And then it goes on to kind of sound like Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. It's mostly just drums and bass and like a little bit of guitar, but it has like a very stripped down feeling. It almost feels like it's a demo that you're listening to. And then the vocals come in. Her voice does not sound like anything you've ever heard before. She has a super unique voice, and the way she's singing, it's like, it's not perfect. No reference intended. It's not perfect in that sometimes it feels like she's a little bit ahead of the beat or a little bit behind the beat. It once again has this like really raw feeling like it's a demo or something that you're listening to, but it's good. It's very good, and it's taking you to a different place. Probably something to do with that Fleetwood Mac-esque music. And then you're listening to the lyrics and you realize she is mad. She's mad about something, and it feels very conversational. Like it almost feels like she's just your friend, like ranting about something. Why does it feel like that? Like you feel like you know her and you're invested in her story and you're mad for her, and y'all just met. So I'm gonna give you some theories as to why that is. Obviously, if you know the lyrics, like you know they're really personal and pretty sassy, but they're not just personal, they're showing personality. You know, the way she is phrasing things is very conversational, and it's not ways I would phrase things. It's showing her personality. I smoke like a chimney, I'm not skinny, I pull a Britney every other week, cut me some slack. It's not like she's using slang, but like maybe she kind of is in some of her lyrics. Just very personal, and probably the biggest thing, they don't rhyme. She really is just like venting. Now I've noticed this recently with some pop music. My first example of this would be That's So True by Gracie Abrams. For the most part in the song, she does rhyme, but the part that everyone loves and everyone sings is when she cuts the rhyme scheme. But I think I like her, she's so fun. Wait, I think I hate her. I'm not that evolved, I'm sorry. That little line is like the most fun part of the whole song to sing. And I think it's because she cuts the rhyme and just starts saying what she's feeling. And that song carries more similarities than one with this song. It's very conversational, really shows her personality. It sounds very like Gen Z, I would even say. And it's like an angry song. And anger is a great way to get people on your side. Another example of people not rhyming in their music would be Charlie XCX. She does this multiple times on Brat. She does it in Girls So Confusing. She does it in Talk Talk. Like she's not even trying to rhyme. And people love singing those songs. It's just really interesting to me because the lack of rhyming in all of these songs really makes you question like the nature of songs. Like what makes a song? When you think of music, you think of instruments, and then you think of lyrics that rhyme. And you would think if a song didn't rhyme, it would be less catchy and like less popular. But I just named 3-4 examples of songs that are super popular. So that's just fascinating to me. Let me know if you have any other songs that you've noticed don't rhyme that are really popular right now. So yeah, Lola Young is showing a lot of personality in this song. She's making it very conversational. She's not even trying to rhyme. Because of all of this, you kind of just feel like you're talking to a friend. It feels either relatable to you, or it makes you play pretend for a second and kind of get into her character where you can be sassy and mad. It's fun to do that in angry songs. That's why I like singing That's So True by Gracie Abrams, and I don't even listen to her other music. It's just kind of fun to like act along to the music. In fact, I would go so far as to say that this song and some of the other ones I've named could be a musical theater song. Hear me out. If Lola Young were to sing this song with just a slightly different tone, or maybe she could get away with doing it as she is, I don't know. But if the music were a little more Broadway, I think the melody and the lyrics make the song like perfectly fit to be a musical theater song. And that's another thing I've noticed with pop music lately. I feel like it's gotten more theatrical. I don't know if it's always been that way, but like Chappell Roan, I think is the best example of this. She makes some really theatrical music and feels just like really conversational at times. I would even say like some Sabrina Carpenter songs maybe, or definitely some Renee Rapp songs are very theatrical. You know, people talk about the revival of like folk music nowadays. I'm not super involved in like the musical theater world. I just feel like if you like Chappell Roan, or you like some of these other songs where you can like get into character and like feels very like conversational, you could be into musical theater. and not even know it. Speaking of conversational, I'm kind of just talking off the dome at this point, but let's get back on track. So you get to the chorus of Messy, and I don't think I need to comment on how catchy it is, but what I will comment on is the chord progression. Guys, I knew something was up with the chords. Something was like different about them, but I couldn't figure out what it was. And then I finally just looked them up. Would you believe me if I told you there are only 2 chords in this chorus and like in the whole song, more or less? That is really unusual in music, and most of the time that people are using 2 chords in a song, I'm bored. I'm like, why are you only using 2 chords? I'm bored. I'm such a music girl, like I want more than 2 chords. But in this song, the 2 chords are symbolic. The 2 chords represent what she's saying. The 2 chords literally go, I'm too messy, I'm too clean. You told me get a job, then you ask where I've been. The 2 chords are literally comparing the 2 sides of her, the 2 extremes that she's referring to. They go with the words that she's saying. When I realized that, my mind was blown. It's genius. And I don't think when she was writing the music, assuming she wrote the music, that she was like, oh, I'm gonna use 2 chords because it's symbolic. But I'm sure she was just coming up with chords that matched what she was singing. And 2 chords just naturally fit in there because each line of the chorus is comparing 2 things. Mind blowing. That, I feel like, is half of what makes the chorus so effective. I'm too messy, then I'm too clean. You told me get a job, then you asked where I've been. And the 2 chords, by the way, are literally, I don't know, the version I found, it was just C and D. They're right next to each other. That is not common. I saw another version where it was like D and E, but either way, they're 2 chords that are right next to each other. I think there's a lesson in here somewhere that sometimes simple is better. Like the verses are pretty much just bass and drums, not that those are simple in the song, but the fact that there's only 2 chords in the chorus and it works so well and is so effective and so catchy. I like never would have thought that would have been possible to write a song this catchy with only 2 chords. And then I think the other lesson to take away from this song, both for musicians and just like whatever your creative outlet is just to do your own thing, because she used a bunch of different random techniques in this song, none of which you see very often, all of which are pretty unique. And then she threw them together, came up with the most Lola Young song ever. And it's a freaking hit. 80s inspired music, just drums and bass, 2 chords in the chorus, super sassy lyrics that don't even rhyme, a very like raw production style that feels almost like a demo or something. I mean, I keep throwing that around. It's like obviously much better than a demo, but feels like it was maybe recorded in like 1 take. She made all of those very strong choices and then threw them together, and it worked so well. I just feel like that should be an inspiration to other artists to really do your own thing, forge your own path. I think that's gonna take Lola Young really far. But comment down below. Let me know what you think of the song. Let me know what other songs I should dissect next. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye, y'all. Okay. Play.